6 years, ever since I came to New York from Los Angeles. And every year I bring Cabo on stage because he'll bark otherwise. Thank you. Thank you for showing your compassion and coming out and really showing the world that this is the social justice movement of the 21st century. The world is changing. Foxy, come on up. She doesn't want to be upstaged. By the way, Cabo was found in a box outside a shelter in South Los Angeles, and Foxy was found on the streets of Fresno. In any case, the world is changing. Sorry. The world. We like to keep. Sorry, is your baby okay? Yes. We like to keep it exciting here on stage. Who needs Cirque du Soleil? You've got the Walk for Farm Animals. The world is changing. And it's absolutely extraordinary. Every single day I see another sign. Fresh & Company is serving Beyond Meat. Have you seen it?
Yes.
They also have a giant sign talking about their new grilled cheese sandwich made with vegan cheese. Every day on the way here, where I used to work right across the street, I would stop at Juice Generation. 3 years ago, Juice Generation had chicken sandwiches. They got rid of them, and now, with the exception of whey, it's a vegan restaurant. And their sign out front says, "Not got milk." And they serve hemp milk, rice milk, and almond milk. They do not serve cow's milk. Now, these are not even considered vegan restaurants. These are restaurants that are part of this new trend that is sweeping not only the nation, but the world. My girlfriend, who's also my official videographer, Donna, who was dancing with the cow a little while ago, and I went to Prague and Vienna just a few weeks ago. We brought all sorts of nuts and other vegan things in our suitcase thinking, well, who knows? But we went on Happy Cow, and we found so many vegan restaurants that we ate only at vegan and vegetarian restaurants throughout Central Europe. And we had no trouble. They're all over the place. It's a revolution in veganism. And they have a new supermarket chain called Vegans that is sweeping Europe. The world is changing. People are starting to realize that this is the most important thing that you, yes you, young lady, can do for the planet is to practice peace on your plate. So let's say it today. Peace begins on your plate. 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 All right. That was good, right? Ow! I'll be dropping my album, Peace Begins on Your Plate, next month. It's changing, but it's not changing fast enough for the 9 billion farm animals that are raised in institutionalized cruelty and slaughtered every year. Every single one of us here today is on the forefront of this movement. And this is not a movement just to help animals, although that is so, so very important. This is a movement really to save the human species. Our lifestyle is not sustainable. We're going to have 9 billion people on this planet by 2050. We all cannot continue consuming resources at the rate we are. People say to me sometimes, well, what about people? Why are you so interested in saving animals? Don't you care about people? How many of you heard that question? Right? And what I say is, hey, I care about starving children around the world. Every 5 seconds a child dies of starvation or malnutrition. We could wipe out world hunger today by taking all the grain and all the food that we feed to 9 billion farm animals and distributing it around the world to starving people. And that's what we need to do. People say to me, well, you know, the real issue is climate change and the environment. Meat production is arguably the leading cause of climate change in the world today. There are many so-called environmentalists who are talking a good game of environmentalism over steak and eggs while they're wearing a Prada bag and leather shoes. And that's called, anyone want to take a guess? Hypocrisy! I say you cannot be a meat eater and be an environmentalist. The amount of grain, the amount of water that goes into making one animal. Think about it. Think about your own pets. That is a tremendous amount of resources. The destruction of the rainforest for grazing land, the methane that the animals themselves produce, the transportation that's involved in moving all these animals around and creating the grain that and the other products that go into these animals. So if you're an environmentalist, you should go vegan. Let's talk about health. Let's talk about where our country is today, where we have financial problems and where one of the biggest issues is health care. Now, they talk about health care, but they don't talk about what's making Americans sick. The obesity crisis, which is predicated largely on the overconsumption of fast food, which is primarily filled with meat and dairy products, is largely responsible for our health crisis. We all know from the China study, from the Mediterranean diet studies, that a plant-based diet is better for your health. Your chance of getting cancer, heart disease, high cholesterol drop radically. In fact, how much cholesterol is there in plants? Zero. You cannot get high cholesterol from eating plants because animals manufacture cholesterol. We are animals. We manufacture our own cholesterol. The animals that are slaughtered for food are manufacturing their own cholesterol. So I think you all know, for a whole variety of reasons, if you care about world hunger, if you want to stop climate change, if you want to increase the health of Americans, reduce the obesity crisis, and therefore reduce the deficit and save tax dollars, that we need to promote a plant-based diet. And to that end, let me say that I am on a new venture, and you're the first to hear it today. I'm starting a new TV network for animals and veganism. Check it out. Check it out. People want to see it. Come on, videographer, show that, right? You want it? Okay. And this is going to be the first story on it. Now go to my Facebook, Jane Velez-Mitchell Facebook, and we're going to be editing this away, and you'll see it, and then spread it to friends. And I'm going to be working very closely with Farm Sanctuary and Gene Bauer. And Gene says he's going to videotape his lectures that he gives around the country. Those are going to go on it. So Gene and I are going to work and Farm Sanctuary together on this new network, because everything we do needs to be on TV, and we need to spread it. We need to go to the source, the internet. While it is creating democracy in certain places, and it is allowing people who are oppressed and don't have their freedoms to get the word out, we can speak for the oppressed animals on the internet, right?
Hell yeah!
Are we going to do it?
Yeah!
Are we going to send the message to America that they need to hear, and the world globally, that this is the single most important issue of the 21st century?
Woo!